we got Matt Ryan going into the Ring of Honor on Thursday, so we can't lose, right? Can't lose. And welcome in, everybody. It is episode 187, I think, of Out of Your Falcon Mind, Atlanta Falcons Fancast. My name is John, your host, joined by our buddy, Miss Benford. Dude, I think we were still on Zoom last time you were on here. That's been a while, man.
I think it was one of the first times using the
Was it?
StreamYard,
Was
so
it? Okay.
I believe so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Either way, it's been too damn long.
Too long.
Kenny G, Grist Bliss, man. What's going on, man?
What's up, John, man? Happy to be here. Happy it's a victory week going on here. Big division dub. Short week, though. I'm happy I don't got to wait a whole 7 days for more ball. We got it tomorrow night.
I know, dude. I know. I'm excited about it, too. I mean, I'm so glad it's coming off a win, too. I mean, like, it would have been we would have a very different feel to this show if we were going into this thing 1-3.
Yeah, back against the wall is putting it mildly.
Yeah, like a must win, basically, almost. And, and in some ways. So look, man, if y'all looking for Mike, I don't know where he is. He was getting back today on a flight from Nebraska. I don't know exactly what time. It's possible he's asleep. It's possible he's still on the plane. I'm not really sure. I texted him. It did not go through. So he may pop in. He may not. I have no idea. But either way, he should be back. I don't know what we're doing yet. We may do the recap show tomorrow night late on Thursday, or we may hit it on Friday. I really no clue yet, but we'll just keep your eye on the channel. We'll get it figured out. But look, if you guys are new here, welcome in. Hope you enjoy the show, the content. Come back. We normally do 2 live shows a week, previewing the upcoming matchup and recapping the game, either right after the game or the day after. Just depends. Obviously, this week and last week actually was a little bit different or the week before last with Monday night and Sunday night, and now Thursday night. So on a normal day, we'll try to get in there on after 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. But if you're listening to us, iTunes, Spotify, wherever, drop us a 5-star review if you can. And by the way, if you guys are listening to us and you're wondering where the hell the recap show was for the Saints, I have no idea. The audio just would not. It had an error. It would not. It kept saying error. It would not work. It would not load. So if you want to see that show or hear that show, just throw it on YouTube. You can hear it there. And we got an email, which I'm going to read on the next show with Mike because he's got some questions for Mike. So Taylor, I got you, buddy. I got your email. I appreciate the email, and I will read it on the next show for sure. And if you guys want to email us, it's atlfalconfancast@gmail.com. We do have merch. I'll put that up on the screen shortly into the show. But all right, I think that's all the business I need to take care of. Kenny, man, what's first 4 games, man? We haven't talked really. So what's your take on the first 4 games? How are you feeling?
I think things have kind of gone as we expected. You know what I mean? I mean, after 4 games, we're sitting here at 2-2. So the results are good. And I said this last time, man. I said the same exact thing. I said the process has been sloppy, but the results are about where we want it to be. So I feel good, though. I do. I kind of make a habit of complaining a little bit about all the little things. But, I mean, overall, where we're at, I'm pleased overall.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's not how I. Well, let me take that back. I think I just said on a few shows ago, like I think I overhyped myself for the season because just the signing and Zach Robinson and then bringing this offense here and maybe thinking like, okay, this thing is all you hear from the all off season. It's going to be explosive and we're going to do this and that and this and that. And I'm listening to Aaron Freeman this weekend on Locked On, and he's like, yeah, we've got 10 explosive plays 4 games into the season, which is the lowest amount since 2010, since he's been charting it at least. And I was like, damn, man, like Arthur Smith was drawing up more explosive stuff, which is that's definitely rough. But yeah, I'm with you. I didn't know what to expect from the Steelers game. I thought we'd win it, but obviously did not go that way. But the Eagles game was it's crazy, but I was I'm happy. Yeah, I mean the drive at the end, that's not something that was very un-Falcon like, that we did. Chiefs game we could have had. We know, we just we could have had that game. That was right there for us to take. And the Saints game is basically your typical Saints game for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm really hoping that we're just in some normal football games from here on out, like
Dude,
that would be, I think everyone would enjoy just a normal football game, like maybe a double-digit victory here and there,
oh,
something we don't got to
man.
sweat out till the zero's on the clock.
I was exhausted last weekend, dude. I'm a Bama fan, so I had the Bama Georgia game,
Ooh,
that night before, which
yeah.
started off great. But like I said, I knew that that was not going to be as easy as it started out. I was like, this is going to get rough at the end, trust me, and it did. And then the Falcons game the next day, then the freaking Braves, and like them trying. It was just it's been a.
Sports putting you through the ringer this week, man.
Well, my beard's gray, dude. I mean, that's why my beard is gray. I stopped coloring it, and here we are. So that makes me look 10 years older, but whatever.
I was going to say, I think there was some salt and pepper going on last time I was on this show. It's all salt now.
Oh, it's all salt. It's all salt. A little bit of snowflakes, actually, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's fine. It's like I just got tired of coloring it, man. It's like, you know what? It's been like this for a while. I'm just going to unless something comes along that's just like easy peasy, like you just brush in and it works, and then I might try it. But it doesn't help that my wife looks like 10 years younger than she is. I look 10 years older than I am. So it's like, yeah, great. But it's all good. Anyway, man, let's check out the chat real quick. April, what's going on? Good to see you. D, what's up? So what's up, Phyllis? Let's go Falcons. Yes, sir. All right, man. So to just wrap up the Saints game, looking at the all 22, did you get a chance to see it?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your takes. Because, we heard a lot, right after, because, and I always say this too on the show. It's like you watch the game and you think a couple of things. You may watch the film and be like, oh, I was totally wrong there. Or, you see things that, you weren't quite there when you're watching it live or whatever. So offensively, Zach got a ton of flack. Kirk got a ton of flack. Who you think deserves more, or is it kind of equal footing here?
I'd say it's equal footing right now. It's just, it's crazy the contrast between watching the games live and going back the next day or day after and watching.
It really is.
Yeah, watching all 22. It really is crazy the difference between the two. Yeah, I'd say it's equal right now. Zach Robinson, I kind of see the vision of what he's trying to do and everything, but the team just gets in their own way so often. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's discouraging that we have 5 touchdowns through 4 games. You know what I mean? That's the most discouraging part. The fact that we have two whole 60-minute games where we haven't put the ball in the end zone. But they keep getting in their own way. Like against the Saints game, Bergeron had a face mask, took them up right out of the end zone, ended up punting. Ray had an offensive pass interference, ended up punting. Ray falls down running the deep dig route. Kirk throws a pick. Ticky-tack holding call on Jake Matthews to wipe out a Bijan touchdown.
Yeah.
And a contested drop by Drake London. It's all of these little things that just add up, and it's resulted in a lack of production thus far.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, I think, looking at those last couple of drives, I mean, that's what drove me most nuts was like, we get the ball back. There's 3 or 4 minutes left. I forget, something like that. I'm like, okay, we got to take a few minutes off the clock here. And it was boom, 3 and out.
Yeah, real quick.
Nothing.
Didn't take any time. Yeah, we were throwing too. Like it's just...
Yeah, and I didn't even mind the thing to Ray to get something, but then after that, I was like, dude, come, what do we? I mean, you got to have some plays that not any plays a sure thing, but just to move the ball, get some yards, run the clock, something.
Yeah,
that was
situationally. Zach has got some work to do, I would say. You know what I mean? And it's not just that 4th down against the Chiefs that Nick Bolton stuffed up. It's little things like that, like the situational awareness, what plays to call when. I think he'll get there, but it's something I'm definitely keeping my eye on, as I'm sure everyone else is.
No doubt. Yeah. And the last drive, we literally need 5, 6, 7, 8 yards just to make Kuz kick a little bit better. And we're sitting there freaking taking deep shots. I'm like, dude. I mean, and damn near turns it over on the last one. I'm like,
I don't mind one, but we did it back to back, and
and you had guys open underneath on that last one that literally, you just boom, dump it off, get it a little bit closer. We're not sweating for a 58-yarder, man. It's like, just stuff like that. That kind of drove me nuts. What did you think about Kyle? Because that's obviously been a topic of conversation the entire week too.
Oh man, Kyle Pitts is obviously. He's like the black sheep of the Falcons right now.
Yeah, right.
I'm for the first time questioning how good a football player Kyle Pitts is, if you want me to be brutally honest with you. Like, the peripherals around him have never really quite been in his favor, but at some point, I believe that you've kind of got to start making plays despite of that. If you're, fourth overall pick, highly talented, highest tight end drafted ever, like, I need to see him start producing. And we're not using him the way he's accustomed to be using, but like, I want to see him create separation. I need to see him come up in these contested catch situations and make a play for the team. Like, you're a huge physical specimen, man. Like, we got to start playing like it.
Yeah, that drop was kind of rough. That was in traffic. That's
Yeah,
probably
I think it was
issue.
Alontae Taylor that did a good
Yeah.
job on him. It might have been a Debo. The Saints corners, I honestly got to tip my hat to them because they're big, they're physical, they play hard. So it's not like an easy matchup or anything, but you got to win in matchups that aren't ideal at some point.
Yeah, I mean, Lante was pissing me off too. I told my son, I was like, somebody needs to light him up because he's smelling himself a little bit. And then Tyler goes and gets him later in the game. I'm like, oh, there we go. All right, perfect. Yeah. But yeah, it's I watch him, and I watched a lot of the 22 last year, and it's like, I didn't know what to make of it last year because obviously there was more of the injury involved than there was than I think that we even knew. But it's like I'm watching this year. Yeah, there's some instances he looks faster. There's other instances where it looks the same, and I'm like, I don't know. It's just,
let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. Do you think he's lost some fluidity? Like, do you think he's become a bit more of a straight line athlete than he was before?
Maybe because the routes that he runs are pretty much like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot of variation to that. He runs basically a deep corner post, and I mean, there's not a whole lot of, different. I mean, or a little out, something like that. Like, you don't really see him on much else. So yeah, I don't know. If there was, what was it, LCL and MCL damage? I think it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's. Oh no, I think it might have been PCL. Which either way, that's none of them are good, especially if you got multiple ones. But I don't know. I'm still because it's like you want to give the man the benefit of the doubt, but how long can you do that? We're on year 4.
Exactly.
I know he was hurt and he's had bad QB play other than his rookie year. And I know, and Trayshawn, brought up the point a few weeks ago that, hey, in a McVay offense that the tight end's not used all that much as far as, the Tyler Higbee-ish, but like I said last week, I feel like he was used more than this, though. Like, I feel like he was more involved than what Kyle currently is.
He's somewhat of an afterthought in the whole pecking order. I mean, London, Mooney, McLeod are all getting fed targets. Then, I mean, you could argue that Bijan's a higher option than him in the passing game as well. So it's
and it's
unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I know. It's like I'm sure there's a lot of the getting used to the offense from Zach and just everybody involved. And I think that I'm not ready to call it yet, but I mean this definitely it's definitely an important season. Like he's I know he's going to be here for year 5, but we got to figure out what he's going to be in this offense one way or the other. And like like you said, I mean, Bijan and Tyler, hell, I almost think you should give those guys like 15 to 20 carries each every game, and just like ideally, I mean, just run the piss out of the ball, man, and like because both those guys can be successful, and then not have Kirk have to throw it 30 plus times a game. That'd be ideal. In a perfect world. Hopefully, what's up, man? Hey, man, no problem, man. Glad to do it, dude. Millie said, "What's up? What's going on, Millie? Good to see you, man." William, what's up? Must win game. It's
a big one.
It's a big one. It would have been must win if we had lost, but I think you still want to win it for sure because you don't want to have the Saints going 4-1 overall and up in the division. Lisa, dude, is 6'6", 250 and soft. And see, I've been trying not to use the S word.
We can call him finesse,
but I'm leaning toward getting there, man. He said first round decoy, if you ask me. I know.
I've actually been I don't think his blocking is as bad as the rap he gets for it. Like, I'm not saying it's great, but it's gotten better. I think it's passable at this point.
It's gotten
he's not going to be, pulling as a tight end and lead blocking for anyone, but I think it's passable.
Yeah, I mean, the last year it was god awful, and this year it's been much better. So like, there's definitely some improvement on it. Looking at anyway, other than that on that game, man, How are you feeling about the defensive line?
I was actually more encouraged than I thought I'd be looking back on things. I thought they did a good job of getting pressure on Derek Carr. I know
Mhm.
The Saints O-line has been so hot and cold,
Yeah, they were
but
beat up too. They're missing a couple of guys too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if the pressure we got will really carry over as the season goes on, just because Anyamata got off to a real slow start. He played better last week. I was excited to see that. Grady, I think, oh man, Grady's left a little bit to be desired. He looked really good week one, and he hasn't really gotten a whole lot of production since then. Judon, I really love Judon.
Man, thank God for him.
Yeah, thank God we got him. And then, yeah, it's about what we expected.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, but when we have when we have Goldman and Anyamata and Grady, um, I thought we would get more kind of push than we did, especially against a backup center, backup guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I was more impressed now with Zach Harrison and Taquan Graham.
Yeah.
When they came in, they made it was like there's a few run plays with Kamara that they were just shoving their dudes into the backfield, and and I think TQ snaps was like doubled this game than it was the previous game. So hopefully, I like to see Zach get more.
Me too.
Freaking, I just he's put on 20 pounds. He probably trends more to be inside anyway.
Yeah,
So
he flashed quite a bit last year, man. I know the scheme change specifically for him had to be difficult, but I mean he's a good football player, man. I'm with you. Let's bump that snap count up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I mean, seeing that in the second half, I was really encouraged. Or maybe just maybe subbing him out a little bit more often. Keeping him a little bit more fresher. And I was surprised that going into that game, like I thought, and that looking at previous like film on the Saints and just looking at how teams have beat us with the run, I was like, okay, they're going to run out of 11 personnel probably a lot. It was like 4 times they ran out of 11 personnel, and I was like, what are y'all doing? Like everybody that's done it has killed us with it because we set up in nickel, it's light, we can't get it. They pretty much stayed with they had a tight end or a fullback in there, so it was like we could keep our base guys in there and pretty much go after them, which was great for us. But the few times they did run out of 11, they got pretty decent, or at least a couple of games with Kamara was pretty good. And I thought, okay, they're going to start doing this. They just never did. So thanks, I appreciate it, Clint. But that was kind of a surprise to me. Was just looking at it, and yeah, I mean, other than that, man, I was trying to look back at the notes I had. If you have anything on that game too, before we move on to the Bucs.
I got a big middle finger for Taysom Hill, man. I'm sick of this guy killing us every single game. Yeah, like I get so angry. Like I don't really get like as upset at football games as I used to, when I was younger. A little more nuanced now. But God, every time Taysom Hill scores against us, it just it drives me crazy, man. I start to Taysom, but
no, dude, I start to get angry when I see him in the game. Like I start to get start shaking. I'm like, God damn, here we go again. Let's see. Yeah, they ran the ball 4 times. Yeah, no, 11% 4 times. Yeah, crazy. And then we blitzed them. That's the other thing I saw that we kind of went up. We blitzed them, I think 12 times. I think it was, which is a little more than we have been. And it seemed to work. I mean, I'm. Dude, whatever we got to do to get pressure. I mean, I kind of trust our back end and they've been handling their business for the most part. And I've told everybody on the show, man, I don't know about you, how you originally felt about my cues at the beginning of the season.
Oh, brother.
I've already apologized so many times I can't even say it. Like, I mean, he's far exceeded my expectations.
He's played very well.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
Prove me wrong. I still don't know if I'm sold for what it's worth, but hey, I'm not complaining. I'm not talking about it. Don't give me a reason to, Mike. Keep doing your thing.
Absolutely.
Our corners coming up and making these run stops has been so like real big for us so far,
Yeah, I told Savion last thing. I was like, dude, is he the best tackler on the team? Because every time he's just coming down making hits. Him and AJ both though. But yeah, man. I mean, it's been it was, I don't know, it was just a crazy game all around. But yeah, that's how you expect Saints games to be with us. It's like there's rarely ever a blowout. Other than the last game last year, I mean, how that ended, but it's always something crazy. It's always close. But yeah, that's about all I had from that game. I came out this kind of like my first question to you about the offense. I came out pretty much in the same spot. Like, yeah, Kirk definitely missed some opportunities. that he could have take or didn't. He did have a deep shot he didn't take to Kyle.
Yeah,
and
on a corner route. Yeah,
on a corner route. Yeah, and there was some opportunities that he left on the field. But I it's kind of both, but like overall, and it's kind of how I felt last year too. Like it just has to execute better. Like a lot of times, the offense just has to go out there and, like you said, not do stupid things. Some of the penalties, the Ryan Newsel, the snap and frac, well, that was just weird.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
just
that. That was big too.
It was, yeah, it was, and the hands of the face, that was
That
obvious.
was on 4th and 1, wasn't it? The snap infraction. We were about to go for it. Yep,
sure was. But like the one that. Like Bergeron taking the dude's face mask off, that was fairly obvious. I mean, the holding call on Jake was garbage, but I mean,
trash.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, it's like, yeah, you just got to execute better and stop, like you said, not tripping over on your own feet, literally, to get better, because we definitely could have had a better offensive performance. Let's see. He said, hopefully this is the week he breaks out. Yeah, I hope so, man. He said he did well with Matt Ryan. I'm thinking it will get better as chemistry with Kirko continues. Yeah, that's what we're all hoping. Depending on, I mean, that's. I mean, I think we're all kind of lost at this point. We're just waiting for see something happen.
Hey, nowhere to go but up from last time.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, none of our first rounders have played their height and potential. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Drake has done about as well as he possibly could, especially with the quarterbacks he's had. I mean, he's done pretty well. Kyle, Bijan, I'm okay with Bijan so far. And Johnson, what's up, man? He said Caleb and Gary will be back for tomorrow. Oh, is that confirmed? He's back?
Yes.
We're good to go? Awesome. I love it, man. Reggie, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man.
Love your chat, man.
There's Steven.
Hey, there he is.
The man has filled in for Mike like 3 times in the last 8 days. It's been amazing. I appreciate it. All right, yeah. So let's just get on to the. Well, yeah, that was it for the Saints.
Real quick.
Oh yeah,
because we were talking about Drake London for a second. I said on Twitter how encouraged I am with his usage so far, getting him snaps in the slot. I believe that's how he always should have been used from day one.
Agreed. Man.
And it's cool because it's kind of like a Rams-like usage with the condensed splits and getting him in the slot. And I like the way that we've used motion to kind of free up leverage for him, whether it's going outside or inside. I really like the kind of stack and motioning over to it and just giving Drake more leeway to run and break open. So just something I wanted to shout out real quick because that was a big takeaway I had from watching the game.
Definitely, yeah. He's like you said, using that kind of like Cooper Kupp-ish, but obviously a very different build than Cooper. But he fits that slot so well because he can use that if he's up against a nickel corner or safety, he can use that to his advantage.
And he's quick, not fast. You know what I mean? So we can I like keeping. I know he's a good contested catch guy down the sideline, and he's made a lot of those plays. But let's make things easy for him, man. Passing game got to flow through somebody, and it's got to be Drake London.
Yeah, I think he had 12 or 13 targets this week.
He was up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think exactly, and most of the time he's catching those contested catches, almost every time.
He left some on the field, but I'll take Drake London in that situation over most other players.
Oh yeah,
especially on our team.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we'll just start with the injury report for this week. I just had it up. Let me share it here.
Well, we know the big one is 44 coming off his career best game.
I know, man. That does suck bad. I mean, I mean, I know they said that, JD Burton's or, Kid Jimmy Lake said it's going to come in and there'll be no drop off, or they'll expect no drop off. That's nice of him to say, but
we didn't instill confidence in the young man.
Exactly. I mean, even JD knows he doesn't run a 4.4, and he's not as big, and there's pretty decent difference there. But just looking at it, Bijan obviously full participant, Ray full participant, Caleb, but full participant, and Troy out, and Jace, who hasn't even been active this year. I think he had an illness, so he was out. But good to hear that those guys are going to be back. And I mean, the good thing,
the good thing is you scrolling down and seeing all that right there,
dude. I know. Like, I mean, they got a laundry list of folks, and
I know the Bucs fans expected right tackle Godicke and Winfield back for this game, and neither are back. So we're catching a break there, man.
Big time, big time. I mean, Antron Winfield's just everywhere. I mean, every game, the dude's everywhere that we play him. So that's a big miss for them.
Cansey too. Cansey's a nice interior disruptor for them. So I'm happy we don't got to deal with his quickness on the inside.
Sure is, yeah. And Trey Palmer, he did not participate. Is he out too?
Oh, that's the first I'm seeing of that. I know McMillan is out.
Oh, wait, he is out. Yeah, he is out. Yeah, Trey Palmer is out.
He caught a touchdown last week, and I believe he's the return man as well. So that's, hey, that injury report, despite losing Anderson, is in our favor, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we still got to deal with Vita Vea in the middle, which is not going to be fun.
Never is.
Nope. I was watching a little bit of the Bucs, a game from last week, and he's literally taking on two dudes and making tackles in the backfield. I mean, he's an impressive dude. Yeah. But I mean,
they don't make many like him.
No. And it's going up against, Ryan Newsel, and, hopefully Chris can help out with that. Chris or Bergeron could both help him out.
Yeah.
Big time. This is going to be interesting to see how much pressure they get with him, because I think they only have 8 sacks on the year, and they had 6 of them in last week, alone. Yeah, they had 6 sacks last week, and it was, I think, 2 Levante David. Levante David looked like he was 22 years old last week. He was everywhere. I think he had an interception.
He's a couple of sacks. He's a timeless player, man.
34 years old, and the dude has 100 tackles, over 100 tackles for loss just against us in his career.
What?
Yes. I read that, had to do a double take. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But, he's 34. He's been playing us twice a year ever since he's been in the league. So I'm like, okay, that kind of tracks. But I mean, that's just an insane stat. But yeah, but that.
You muted.
Yeah, this freaking mic drop sometimes, man. It itself off for no reason. But anyway, the Bucs are 3-1. Look, they handled Philly last week, and we know Philly's exactly. I don't know what's up with Philly, and I mean, other than having the enjoyment of listening to Locked On Eagles and listening to them just break down and just destroy Sirianni, which is they want his ass fired, they want him gone.
They're done with him. I saw somebody say that they don't believe Sirianni's headset actually goes anywhere. He's just
wearing it
the whole game. Yeah,
that is awesome. No, I mean. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the Eagles, but they got beat at home pretty soundly by the Broncos, but that Bronco defense looks pretty serious.
They look legit.
So but Baker last week, he had some drops. So you're looking at, I mean, I think he's still, if you had to take away a few bad drops, he would have had over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah. Yeah, the stinker against the Broncos aside, he's doing his thing, man. And if we want to jump right into things, man, we can't let Baker get hot. We cannot let him get hot. He's out there running around, scrambling for touchdowns this year, feeling himself, getting his swag going. No. We cannot let that start going.
That drove me nuts last year when we played them. You see him take off in Tampa, runs for 35. I'm like, how is Baker Mayfield getting 35 yards before he's getting touched? Dude, come on. I know he's not the slowest guy in the world, but my God, that shouldn't be happening.
Well, that was his problem in Cleveland. He thought he was Superman. He thought he ran a 4.4 or something. So we used to always try and make those plays in Cleveland. But I mean, he's making some of them now.
I know. It's crazy. And then, Mike Evans, who we cannot stand to see because the man we know AJ Howard has never had an easy time with him. But to be fair, not too many corners have an easy time with him. He's kind of a freak. He's tall. He can catch. He's fast. He's quick. He's got big hands, big radius. Last week, he became the Bucs' all-time leading scorer, which is crazy. Is the only, and it's a stat too. This came from Locked On Bucs. Other than Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith, he's the only player to be a non-kicker and lead their team in scoring.
Wow, that's impressive.
Isn't that wild? So I mean, without a doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer at this point. I think he's had however many years for
1,000 yards for 10 years now, something crazy like that.
Yeah, and Baker's getting the ball out fast too. His average time last week was just over 2 seconds. He's getting the ball out. So with our lack of pass rush and him getting the ball out fast, they're going to have to how do you scheme against that?
Got to blitz him. You got got to bring the heat against him like we did last week, man. We gotta get onto him. We gotta pressure him. We gotta frazzle him. Can't let him get comfortable. And it's tough when he's getting the ball out that quickly, but that just means we got to come out and tackle when he does.
Yeah.
I think Rachaad White had a big game against us last year, and he had a couple check downs he took for big gains last week. So we got to get to Baker and we got to tackle on the spot. Can't let Godwin and White break these big plays, man. They've kind of struggled to run the ball on the inside. Well, at least Rachaad White has. Bucky Irving's been better running the ball on the inside. But I mean, we gotta keep our assignments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. And we don't have to worry. Baker will run. We don't have to. I shouldn't say we don't have to worry about him, because we do. He will. If you give him an opportunity, he will take it. But yeah, we're going to have to really maintain those rush lanes and watch him how they've been. So Liam Cohen is the offensive coordinator in Tampa, who basically, if you don't know, he was the offensive same position at the Rams in 2022. Was at University of Kentucky last year. Yeah. So similar style offense. Like, we were all wondering kind of like, okay, Dave Canales left. How's this going to look? Well, it looks really damn good so far. Like I said, barring other than the anomaly in the Broncos game. But Rachaad, definitely one of the guys that I liked come out of the draft. I thought that, probably the best hands of any running back that came out in that draft. And they haven't used him a ton in the passing game, but that's something you have to watch. And then last week, Bucky Irving, their rookie running back, actually got more carries and more production than Rachaad White got. So they're very different guys, but two guys both have to worry about regardless. And they haven't ran the ball super effectively, which I know just listening and watching some Tampa Bay stuff, like they're not. The fans are kind of waiting on that still, like after however many years, like they're still not very effectively running the ball that they want to throw, and so for us, like we just can't let them get these deep shots, and let get chunks of yards at a time. Like that's one of the biggest concerns. And like you said, we got to blitz the hell out of him, man. We got to get pressure on Baker, make sure he's uncomfortable, to say the least.
Yeah. Yep, I expect them to do the same to us as well. We know Bowles loves his pressure packages.
Sure does.
Jalen Hurts struggles against pressure, and that was obviously the game plan for them last week. Kirk Cousins isn't exactly great under pressure either once he gets frazzled. So I expect on both sides of the ball for both DCs to kind of bring the heat a little bit.
Yeah, and like you said, Chris Godwin too. I think his yards after catch is seriously up there this year.
He is dominating in the slot this year.
Really is, man. Those both guys. I mean, I'm confident in our secondary because we've had, we've got good guys. I'm curious to see. Baker's not an idiot. I don't think he's going to just go out there like I'm going to go test Jesse and Justin Simmons. Mm-hmm. Like we haven't seen a ton of guys this year throw across the middle or try to go deep in the middle because they know they've got two ball hawking safeties back there that are patrolling around, and both of them will cheat. Sometimes they'll come out of their responsibility, and it's like it's hard to judge. So AJ's playing well. Mike Hughes is playing well. How you feel about D. Alford so far?
I think he's done all right. I don't know if we have many better options there because whenever Clark Phillips has gotten the opportunity, Alfred's outplayed him. Mm-hmm. I think he's fine. You know what I mean? I'd like to see him make a few more plays, but I'm still at the same time, I'm fine rolling him out there over anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, Millie. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he said, by the way, Drake's only 6'4" and gets more contested catches than the 6'6" guy we got. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's rough. Reggie said David and Winfield and Luke all over the field. Yeah, definitely. Christy, what's going on? Good to see you. Millie said, unless you're Patrick Surtain, then Mike Evans ain't shit. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, Surtain did put the clamps on him, man.
He did.
He does that to a lot of people.
Yeah, he does. Steven said, Kenny, got to get your thoughts. Where do you fall on the IDL discourse? In my opinion, Street should be out of the rotation, get Rook some snaps. I'd also rotate Dorless at edge, but that group has been better lately. Yeah,
Steven's going to get me going here. He knows what buttons to push, but I agree, man. And the way we're using Street too, like asking him to hold blocks at the one and like
not a nose tackle.
No, not at all. He doesn't have the build, the playing style, nothing for it. And I'm a big Contavious Street fan. I love what he did for us last year. He had a big game week 1, but I'm with you, man. Like I didn't want to go down the rookie route, but there's no reason that Rook
Hey, go
should
right ahead.
not be getting snaps on game day. Like our interior, it's decent, it has depth, but it's not good enough to keep your second round pick off the field. As far as Dorless goes, that's something I would experiment with. I do think James Smith Williams has done a decent job setting the edge at times, but mostly Rook, man. Like, let's get him in there and see what he can do. Give him the opportunity. I mean, I know a lot of people say that he's going to develop and all that, and it's a good thing he's on the bench, but I do not agree with that, man. I think development comes via playing time more than anything else, especially for an interior defensive lineman.
Yeah, I could see it if you were getting just amazing production
Yeah.
out of that position, but you're really not. I mean, you got veterans there that are good, but the production itself is not just like I don't think you're going to drop off that much. I mean, if anything, the young guy's quickness may benefit him because he's coming in there with 10 years younger than, than every guy in there. So I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. I totally agree.
Yeah, at least get him in there and let's see what we got a little bit. I am worried that Dorless wouldn't be able to set the edge because that's something that he wasn't always great at Oregon. But
yeah,
at the same time, man, let's add some juice to the unit.
Yeah, I mean, he was moved all over the place at Oregon. He played from 9 to 1. It's like you got to number one figure out what he's going to be, and then really get him good at that. Another guy that hopefully won't bother us this year is freaking Cade Otton, man, because last year that was a thorn. Like every tight end was a thorn in our side last year, but especially Cade Otton was not in the game here in Atlanta was not fun to watch.
That's a good point. That's something to watch with Anderson being out as well. Anderson, Landman, we got Bertrand there, Ellis at times. Like, I could see Otton having a little bit of production against us.
Do you think possibly you see Richie more in some of these sets?
Yeah, I do think we could. I don't know what his snap count was last week. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I can check it out, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
I don't recall seeing much of him.
It wasn't much. No, it's not much. That's the only way with. I thought about that earlier. It's like with Troy being down, that might be the only reason that he gets in there more because look, he wasn't ideal last year either. We know that covering tight ends, but I mean, but with Simmons behind him, playing a little bit different role, maybe it's not as bad. And we know he can tackle. And Fridgie's not afraid of coming up hitting anybody at all. That's not an issue, but. Yeah, who knows, man? But King Richie said the Raiders want Tyler Algier for Adams. What would you do?
I don't think that's true, but would I do it? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I would cry, but oh man, I don't know.
Love Tyler, but Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. You know what I mean?
He is, but I don't know. We can't even get the ball. I don't know. I'm trying to figure I don't know. That's a tough one for me, man. Because like Tyler's been my guy. Like I don't know. I'll say no because I've got Tyler's jersey and I'm really tired of getting jerseys and guys going away. Like but Millie said they can keep Adams in. There you go. Steven said, I think Goldman and Graham have been the best interior players so far. Just think that you get the rookies some run. No reason not to. Yeah.
I will say Goldman's been a nice surprise considering we weren't sure we'd even see him on the field at any point.
Yeah, dude, for a while. Good. And I'll bring up the pressure rates in a second. For a while, he was leading our team in pressure rates, which is kind of crazy. Gabriel said Pitts got 1,000 yards his rookie year running deep posts and got 50 yards last week on a deep post. Why doesn't he do it more? Well, he did it a few times last week, but he wasn't on the ball. He ran a deep corner route and was open, but didn't get thrown it. So, I don't know. It could be a feel thing with Kirk or who knows? It just – we just gotta hope we see it get better. That's for sure. But yeah, looking at some of these pressure rates. So if you look at ours, it's not wonderful. I can bring it up on the screen here. Let's see. I mean, that's not it. Let's see. Share screen. All right. So you're looking at ours, and Matthew Judon is the top 7%, which is not great, but it's not terrible. It's not great. 6 QB pressures, 1.5 sacks. I mean, we know our sack issue. D. Alfred got one last week. Grady and Matt both have 1.5. Flip over to the Bucs, and they were. Actually, you know what? I don't even have that one anymore. Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry. The Bucs pressure rate, Yaya Diaby coming off the corner, man, almost 14%. He got 16 QB pressures. He's only got the 1 sack, but he's definitely putting some freaking pressure on the quarterback.
He's an emerging player, man.
Mm-hmm.
They got a good one. I remember him at Louisville. I was a fan of his. His RAS score was pretty insane too. That's an athletic young player right there. We got a 4.5 140, 37-inch vert. Measurables are all there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's a good player. He's going to start coming on. And the Bucs D line, man, once they get Cansey back, if Dobby can somehow start commanding double teams and that singles up Vea and Cansey, that unit could end up being a problem. And that was a big question mark for them entering the season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's good that we have. I don't know. Is it good that we have McGarry back? I mean, like, I mean, I know it. Like he's like, I mean, Storm did a good job. Like I was a little more worried last week because I mean, you know, just from what I've watched, you know, neither one of them have been great in pass protection, but I mean, he handled Granderson pretty well last week overall. Storm did. So I don't know. I mean, Yaya, like you said, he's an athletic guy. So like,
Yeah.
you know, Caleb's not the best with athletic guys. So I don't know.
I'll tell you what, if we're going to keep spamming wide zone, getting McGarry back is a very good thing in my opinion. And I expect us to keep spamming it. So
yeah, I saw the stat that we ran it more weak side than like. Did you see that we ran more weak side? Yeah, which I would assume was just because Caleb was out, and so you're trying to go to your start. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. And then Joe Tryon Shadinka, I mean, probably another good pass rusher they have. You know, I mean, Levante David, like I said, you never know with that dude. We just can let him go off again. I mean, like I said, he had a ridiculous game last week. You know, I mean, Logan Hall's up and down. Greg Gaines is up and down. But I mean, of that defense with Antron Winfield being out, is Vita Vea kind of your biggest concern?
Yeah. Vita Vea is all like literally the biggest concern on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I do not want to see him just wreck that interior because you know unfortunately we know that Kirk's pretty much a statue, and you know I almost wanted to say like, hey, let's move the pocket a little bit, you know, but I mean then that kind of worries me at the same time. It's like, do we want to move the pocket? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah,
I think I was thinking about this today. His lack of mobility hurts us in the red zone pretty significantly, if you ask me, just having no threat there. And, oh, man, yeah, just something that was on my mind. I miss having a mobile quarterback. Not saying I miss number 9 from last year, you know, but, yeah, I do think that's
a different element, man.
Yeah, it is.
And you have to, you have to, you know, the defenses have to account for it. And that's, we even said it last week, man. And it's like, I'm sure, and I'm not saying I want to see him right now, but I mean, I'm sure everyone has watched this year and said like, man, I wonder what, you know, Penix would have been able to do in that situation, you know, like it's just natural.
Yeah,
because he's
always
there.
in the back of your mind, isn't it? Man?
It is because I mean he's there, and it's like, oh, you know, and you know, it's, you know, the most popular guy in the world is the backup quarterback, right? When things aren't going all that great. But you know, September's over with, so maybe October Kirk will now step into the fold. And you know, like I said, the title for the show is time for Kirko Chainz. It's time for that dude to show up and show out, like, and you know, not be kind of, you know, y'all have seen Aaron Freeman's chaos meter for Kirk, you know, which he got from Luke Braun from Minnesota, which is like from a 1 to a 5. And you know, like we don't want to see 1, we don't want to see 5. 5 is like he's off the rails, and we need to see Penix, and 1 is super conservative and not taking any chances. You know, like we really haven't seen the best of Kirk at all during these. You know, that final drive against Philly, really, when he was just not thinking and going, and you know that was the best we've seen. You know, so like if we can get some of that, you know, for an entire game, then yeah, we're in good shape. So hopefully, just that comfortability with the offense is getting better. You know, through like the fact, like you said, the fact that we're 2-2 and even won that game last week without scoring a freaking offensive touchdown is amazing. That they can come out of it and still have stuff to work on, but work on it with the win, you know, so much better.
Yeah, Kirk's been pretty average so far, but I'm with you. I expect things to gradually increase and improve.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man, looking at Well, do you have anything else on the pressures or anything like that, or the defensive? I mean, anything like Tampa or Atlanta?
No, nothing much. I would like to see Chris Lindstrom kind of stay off the ground a little more than he has lately. Not that I'm complaining too much about him because he is easily our best offensive lineman, but
Right.
I would like to see some error-free football games from Chris Lindstrom.
Yeah,
he's going to be big for us tomorrow night.
Oh, big time. I think we're 1.5 point favorites, I believe, if I saw last. That's
the last I saw.
Yeah, something like that. Which really doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, at home on a short week, typically that goes in the home team's favor.
Yeah, exactly. So if we win tomorrow night, man, what's the biggest contributing factor to it?
Key to our success?
Yep.
Like I started out the show saying, man, limiting these procedural errors and stop getting in our own way. I think that if we win, we got to play a clean football game. I remember a press conference with Kirk Cousins before the season began talking about, lack of explosive plays throughout the NFL and such. And he said, well, yeah, defenses want to make you do 10 plays in a row without any errors, any mistakes. And that's how you kind of got to get your way down to the end zone these days in this era of football, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to see. The lack of explosive plays sucks, obviously, but I'm not counting on those at this point. I'm counting on, efficient movement of the football. And I think that if we do that, no turnovers, we limit penalties, I think that we have a great shot at coming out with a dub.
Totally agree. Yeah, we can't do stupid penalties, and I would love just to see some just natural flow to the offense. I mean, just like you said, I mean, I'm not even I'm not even expecting long, deep shots. I kind of would like to see some of the, we can scrap the Darnell Mooney screen. I don't need to see that. You throw Bijan out, throw Tyler, that's great. Whatever. Even Rayleigh McLeod. But use that Darnell more to his strengths, that's definitely not it.
Getting some plays out of Bijan would be great, man. Love to see him break one. I said, not that I'm counting on it, but I mean, he's here to be that kind of weapon. So getting that sort of production out of him would be super encouraging.
Yeah, and even as rough as the game as Philly had last week, I mean, Barkley still broke off some big runs. So I mean, it's it's still there. And we're waiting on that kind of just big, break that big one, and so that would be great, man. Just to, like I said, see some just continuity in the offense and just flow, just not just we're moving, and then we stop ourselves, and stop taking freaking threes, man. Like the field goals. Thank God for Koo, but
thank God for Koo.
But having to get 3 all the time is killing us, man. I mean, we got to get more efficient. And third down, damn it. I know we were 4 for 11 last week, and this baby steps. It's been better than 2 than 9 the first 3 weeks, but damn, man, we've got to get more efficient in that third down. And whether it's being more efficient on first and second, whatever the case may be, which obviously, contributes to it. So you're not in third and long and making it obvious, but just, hopefully just I've seen Zach make adjustments, game to game and sometimes in game that makes sense, and that you can see the wheels are turning, and he's figuring this thing out. But it's just it's funny, like I said before the season, I feel like the defense is going to carry the offense for probably the first 7 or 8 weeks, and which so far is kind of happening. But but I'm still pissed off about it, even though I knew it was going to happen. It's I'm still angry that it's happening, and it's I just figured that. Or I hoped. I didn't figure. I hoped the offense would get it together a lot faster than they're getting it together. And it's it's frustrating because for all of us, we look at it, we're like, well, we got a better quarterback. We've got Drake. We've got Kyle. We've got Bijan. We've got Tyler. We got Darnell Mooney. We got all these weapons. Just like we said with Arthur for so many years. It's but where's the production? Where's it at? So it's just that's what's been driving everybody crazy. And it's just all right, well, hopefully this week, the following week against the Panthers, we can just keep putting it together. The offense can start moving. Obviously, I don't think we go this week and not score any offensive touchdowns. I think that's not going to happen because I think it's 6 straight quarters now, though. I think going into the previous game.
So. I believe so.
Yeah. So not wonderful.
I do have a question for you. Do you think that running more up tempo would help kind of get the offense flowing a little more smoothly? Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like during that Philly game when Kirk was driving down the field on the Manning cast, Matt Ryan was talking about it. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
About Peyton and Matt were talking about how it's all just day one camp install plays. You don't got to think. You can just go out there and flow.
Yeah. And Matt himself was great at that.
Yeah.
That's why he was so good in the 2-minute drill. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. Go. And not every drive, but definitely.
Yeah. Mix it up a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I was kind of halfway joking, but I'm kind of not. I mean, if we can run the ball successfully, which Tampa Bay's not been great against the run, but if we can, like Tyler and Bijan, I don't care if you split their, like they're both very good in very different ways, but like they can both run the rock. And if we can control the clock and keep Baker on the sideline, like we say every week for every other quarterback we're facing, like if we can, because that's one thing we haven't done so far. Like every week we're 10, 11, 12 minutes down in time of possession because we're getting off the field so quick. We can't sustain drives. It's like, if we can do this just 1 week, I mean, finish drives, stay on the field, don't kill ourselves. I think at some point it's going to happen, man. And so hopefully, even if it's a short week, hopefully it's tomorrow night, because I just feel like we're right there. It's just these little bitty stupid things that keep getting in the way that's preventing it. But it's tough. What do you think the final score is going to be, man?
I think we're going to win. I do. I think it's going to be ugly. It's always ugly.
Always ugly.
Over-unders 43.5, something like that. I think the final score could be something, because Tampa's going to put the ball in the end zone probably twice. It's going to be like 22-21, some nonsense like that. We'll somehow get these weird scores we always have going.
Yeah, I was already going to pick 25-20 just for the hell of it, because it's like, I mean, it's going to be somewhere in that range to me. And I'd love to go over. I'd love to pick over 30, because I mean we haven't done that yet. But that's what's crazy. I mean, I know we scored 26 last week, and our offense didn't score a touchdown. I mean, it's wild, man. Freaking Koo with his fifth, was he at 12? He had 12 points by himself, and then 4 field goals, right? Wasn't it 4? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was my fantasy kicker, and he killed it for me. Thank God.
You did great. Yeah. You won your matchup this week, and if you didn't, you got deeper problems.
I got deeper problems. I had Baker Mayfield the week before, and he was terrible.
And then you're like, you're hitting the bench, Baker.
Oh, I hit the bench, and because Caleb went off, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna start Caleb this week.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, I played my son too, so and I lost because he had David Montgomery, I had Kenneth Walker. And it was just like they were going head to head.
Back and forth.
Yeah, dude. But if I had started Baker, I would have won the game. So here the problem is I can't start Baker this week, because I can't. Anytime, that's my fantasy football rule. I will not start any players that are playing the Falcons, because I can't root for them. I just can't do it. So it's going to be either Caleb Williams or I can't remember who my other quarterback was. It'll probably be Caleb Williams, and just hope for the best. Cross my fingers. John, what's going on, man? Good to see you, man. LAJ, so I might be late. Wanted to watch at work tomorrow. No problem, man. But I have to ask, what's your opinion on the Kyle Pitts usage? We covered it earlier in the show, man. So you'll probably see it, but we're both kind of waiting.
That's all you can do is wait and see at this point. I mean, he's being used differently. That's 100% true, but
he's being used way more in line this year than he's ever been used, at least other than Arthur Smith ever used him. So it's different. He's playing more tight end. He's not playing as much wide receiver as he played. So, being asked to do different things. I don't know, man. Like I don't know. And it's like people get caught up in the draft pick because he's a number 4 pick. It's like I get it.
I'm definitely guilty of that.
It wouldn't, but I know it wouldn't. It wasn't these guys that picked the number 4. I understand. It's just. But that's what that's where we're at. So yeah, we're all just kind of waiting to see him, man.
A lot of people say we should trade him, and I do not agree with that at all. We need all the weapons we can keep, we can hold on to. It would take something significant for me to want to trade Kyle Pitts. Yeah,
because even if because Charlie Warner or Ross Dwelly's not going to.
I like Charlie Warner, but he's a role player, He's not a starting caliber tight end, and he's good at what his role is, but
yeah, you're not going to get the same from those two guys, even though Kyle's not catching a lot of ball, the potential's still there. It's like, so that's you got to, at any time he could break out theoretically as long as you're given a chance on the ball. King Richie said, one thing I will say, when the light clicks on with Kirk in the offense, they're going to be dangerous, because Kirk will carve up once he gets comfortable in the offensive scheme. Yeah, that's 100%. That's what we can't wait to see. Hopefully, like I said, that happens sooner than later. And I keep referencing that 2000. 15 season with or 16 season, whatever, 15 season with Shanahan, where everybody's kind of like, oh, this kind of sucks, and then all of a sudden it's just like boom, boom, boom. We can't stop scoring 30 a game.
Worth waiting for that one, huh?
Man, just crossing our fingers. That's how it works out.
I am kind of. I think what's our bye week? Week 9 this year, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm usually in favor of bye weeks later because everyone's so beat up by the end of the year. You want to make a run, you want to get healthy before doing it. But I do kind of wish it was a couple weeks earlier this season.
Yeah, I do too. I would agree with that. DeMons, what's up, man? He said, y'all know so far no QB has thrown deep passes to the middle of the field on our defense. They won't bet against Bates and Simmons, no fly zone. Yeah, I hope Baker tries. I hope he tries a few times, and I hope he's unsuccessful with it. Yeah, because those guys. Well, we haven't really mentioned that. And then, I mean, what's your take on the impact of Simmons in this defense? Even though it's not, other than the interception, just in general, his impact on the defense.
I mean, it's kind of crazy we could get a player as impactful as him in late August. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Simmons has been great. Picking off Pat Mahomes was awesome. The fact that he was able to add to his total against Mahomes. I'm thrilled with Simmons, man. I want to keep him around. I know he's an aging player. I know he's close to the back 9, but come season end, if we can find a way to keep him, that'd make me pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, if you could keep those guys together for at least maybe 2 more years, maybe sign them to a 2-year deal, 3-year deal with a 2-year out, I mean, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just something where
between him and Judon, I don't know we can keep both, but man, that's a good problem to have, I suppose.
I know because I mean him and Bates work so well together.
They really do, man. And like you said, like sometimes when I'm watching the film and everything, it's kind of hard to find out what coverage you're in because I don't know about you, but to determine coverages, my eyes go to the back end immediately. Well, obviously they go to the back end when you're looking at coverages, but my eyes go to the safeties.
Yeah.
And they cheat. They break the rules. They do stuff they're not supposed to do. So it always messes me up. I have to watch the same play like 5 to 6 times to figure out what the call was. But
I know. I'm like, what was he supposed to do there? Because that's not what he did. So yeah, it's like they're both so intelligent, man, and they play well off each other. It's like if we can get the defensive line and really up the pressure, man, it only help those guys out even more. And
they call themselves a crash out crew.
Yeah,
right?
crash out crew. Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, exactly. So Millie says Simmons' presence alone. Yeah, this is presence alone there. Yeah, absolutely right. And he said, Kenny, I actually think we can keep both, especially if we get rid of Onyemata.
We did restructure Onyemata, so it's minimal cap gain. Should we decide to part ways with him, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting how they work that whole defensive line. And we didn't mention that Zion Logue did get picked off the practice squad by the Bills this week. Kind of sucks because
Terry Fontenot dropped a good Georgia Bulldog challenge. We always got next year.
Oh, man, it's like, I mean, he was if anybody to back up Goldman, like he was kind of like maybe one of the true nose type guys. He's just a large dude, and he probably could have done it if needed. Hopefully, he won't be needed, but yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. But we'll see if he makes it to the squad for the Bills because there's a chance he could be back free agency again, at the end of the season. So you never know.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, who knows? But
I'm not sweating over losing Zion Logue, to be honest.
No, I'm not either. Like I said,
I hate the waste of capital, but I mean it's a late 6th round pick. I'm not. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's we spoke briefly about JD coming in this week and taking over for Troy, and we did sign. If y'all didn't see, we signed Rashaan Evans back to the squad. He's back on the practice squad, so not going to be elevated this week. So JD's going to get that role. I know we haven't seen a lot of them during the season. What do you think
about JD?
Yeah.
I was talking to someone earlier today, and with JD Bertrand, it's what you see is what you get, man. He plays exactly how he looks, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think it was last year? It was last year with the whole Will Compton thing going on and how he was like rumored to sign with the Falcons and all that. This is going to be like if Will Compton signed with the Falcons. So
yeah, basically. Yeah, that's basically how I see it too. I mean, smart kid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're going to, you don't have to worry about him understanding his assignments. I think it's just going to be, him getting he's only had 9 snaps, I believe, this year so far.
Not many.
No, and a few of them's been around the goal line, which he's played. He's done well. He hasn't done. You haven't seen his name for the wrong reasons, so that's good.
You ask JD to go forward, not backward. We're going to be all right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be fine. It's not going to be Troy, and again, shout out to Troy, man. He was Defensive Player of the Week, by the way, and well
Well
earned,
deserved.
well deserved. You watch the film back, and you see a couple of early things. It was a little shaky. Still, sometimes takes some weird angles. I mean, it's just stuff he's working out. Obviously, trying to figure out, how to play the position. But man,
Yeah.
later on in the game, there were some plays that if he wasn't there, nobody else was making those plays, and nobody else was going to stop Kamara.
Yeah.
And just all over the place is what you want. That's what we've been waiting to see, So hopefully knee injury is not too bad, and this nice long break, this kind of semi-bye week before the Panthers game, he can get healthy and get back.
Yeah, I saw something that he was day to day, so I would assume we get him back in 10 days.
Do you think you still keep him on special teams? I know he's, important to that unit, but man, like that's how he got hurt. It's like, do you want?
No, I don't. And at
Right.
least until Landman's back, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because having both of them out the lineup is not ideal. And I think they're going to test that with Otten and Rashad White tomorrow night.
They should. Yeah.
They should. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, the first thing I thought of, I was like, man, we got to get him out of the special teams unit, at least for now. Let's let somebody else take that role. Millie said, I think Evans' move is low key clutch. We need that thumper. Maybe we can let Caden pledge a little more times.
That's supposed to be Landman too. So I like Evans as a Landman replacement more than an Anderson replacement for obvious reasons.
Yeah, you don't want to if y'all watched when Evans was here before, you don't want to see him in coverage all that much. He's not a very good coverage linebacker at all. Coming downhill is definitely his game, which why Kenny says, yeah, he's definitely better with Nate as a Nate Landman replacement. But I was cool with it. I would have been cool with the signing even if everybody was perfectly healthy, just because it is more, just we were kind of thin there at that linebacker position.
A little bit, yeah.
And to have somebody like that could step in if we need him. And yeah, I would like to see Caden, on the edge a little bit more because, I don't know about you. I mean, he hasn't been overly impressive at that inside linebacker position this year. I mean, he's not been bad, but it's nothing that's like really stood out to me either. So, maybe get him on the edge where he could be rushing the passer a little bit more. Because again, we need more help doing that.
Versatility is the strength of this game, so I'm a fan of continuing to use it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, man. Well, we got the scores and everything. I think again it's going to be some pain in the ass game that we're, at the end of the game, we're sitting at the edge of our seat waiting on something to happen. So
it will be.
It never ends. We just, like I said, hopefully we don't let Baker go crazy and go nuts on us and have a day again like he had last week. But Baker's been up and down throughout his career. We all know that. But like I said, he's playing with insane confidence right now, which could be a good and a bad thing. Like I said, he could be a little overly confident and try to put a ball somewhere he shouldn't, and we take it away, which would be ideal. Demond said, I'd say let Troy sit until Carolina. Don't want to risk more injury.
It seems like the plan.
Seems like the plan. He's not in for tomorrow, and like I said, got that longer period. So, anything else you want to add, Kenny, before we get out of here, man?
Not much, man. I really appreciate you having me on. I will say that winning this game will be so great. We'll be winners for 10 days, but 10 days.
Yeah, that'll feel a lot better. Yeah, like I said, it's not a must win, but man, if we don't,
it's a big one.
They go to 4-1. And what 2-3-0 in the division? 2-0. Who they played? No, were we the first team they've played? Yeah.
They play the Saints next week.
Play the Saints next week.
The start of the division.
So not the end of the world, but and we got to keep an eye on Devontae Adams because there was rumored the Saints were interested, and he that was we don't need that to happen.
No, we do not. We need GMAA Ron to do your thing, bring him to New York.
Absolutely, yeah. Get him up to the Jets, wherever, even Pittsburgh. I don't really give a shit. Like anywhere but the Saints would be great, or anybody else in our division for that matter. Anyway, Kenny, man, tell everybody where they can find you, buddy.
Yeah, find me on Twitter, Kenny G at Gritsblitz. Find me Tuesday nights, New Millennium Falcons podcast. We'll be here all season long, man, and it's going to be a long one, so buckle them chin straps.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll definitely have him back on, and we might, y'all know we've done some stuff with New Millennium in the past, and we'll probably do some more, maybe some collaborations this season. Jeremy, what's up, man? He said, let's beat them Bucs. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, 3-0 in the NFC is a heck of a way to start the season, despite some early hiccups. So,
man, that'd be great. Yeah, but I do feel pretty confident, which scares me to death, but I do. And hopefully that's well sustained tomorrow night. And finally, I do want to see. I would love to see Bijan go out there. I don't know, maybe get 150 total purpose yards.
Great.
A couple touchdowns.
London has really done well against the Bucs.
That too.
Late, so I would like to see a big Drake London game.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good. Anyway, man, I appreciate you, Kenny. Hey, y'all can, like I said, Mike should be back for the post show again. He's knowing Mike, he probably got in late and fell asleep as soon as he got in. That's all. I'm just guessing. But he should be back for the post game show. We just got to figure out when that's going to be. Like I said, keep your eyes on the channel, or you can follow us. We're on X, Twitter.
Yes, sir. Shout out your chat too, man. You got an active chat, and that speaks to a lot about the success you guys have had in your. Is this really episode 187?
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
It's weird. I know, guys. I know that always, man. The chat that comes through is always awesome, man. We always have a good active chat. They're always bringing good stuff to the conversation, man. We love it. So it's and there's I think I say it every week, but we're not say it every week, but that's the Falcon space. If y'all don't know, is pretty saturated. There's a lot of content creators.
Feels that way, yeah.
It's like over the last few years, a lot have joined a lot, and which is great. It's fine. It's like I just we always appreciate that, because we watch different shows all the time. It's like we just appreciate you guys for us being one of the shows that you watch. Whether you catch us live, whether you catch a replay, whether you listen to us on the iTunes, wherever. We just appreciate y'all because otherwise, if we weren't growing, we weren't getting more listens, we would have stopped this a long time ago. So we do appreciate it, man. And we'll be, like I said, we got the email to read Taylor. I got you whenever Mike's back, and normally Kenny and Mike will set up the games where we played in or out or underrated, overrated. So we got to have you back, and we could do that again because he sets those up typically. So I didn't have time to do that today, so I just couldn't get to it. But,
hey man, bring me back this year, brother. Anytime.
Oh, it's going. Oh, for sure. It's for sure. The Monster would beat the Bucs and the Panthers. That's 4-2, but 3-0 in the division. Oh, we'd be sitting really pretty, man.
We'd be cooking. We'd be cooking.
There's also Friday night, Marietta, Bijan, Drake, and Pitts will be signing autographs. Hey, that's great to know. That's awesome to know. Oh, a Ducks dugout. Oh, that's right. That's not far from me at all. So that's awesome. So yeah, for anybody that's around there, I'm gonna say it again. Friday night, Marietta, Ducks dugout. Bijan, Drake, and Pitts will be signing autographs. So make sure y'all go there. That's an awesome place, by the way. It's like an old school baseball cards, memorabilia, like really cool joint. But anyway, all right, guys. Appreciate y'all. And again, thanks to the chat for coming by. Follow us again, Out of Your Effing Mind on Twitter or X, TikTok, and Instagram, Out of Your Falcon Mind. And I don't know, Biscuit should have a pick coming. I don't know if Mike's, he's been out of town, so I don't know if he's had time to record Biscuit's pick yet or not. Biscuit did get it right last week. He picked us over the Saints. It's the first time, I don't know if you kept up with it again, Chinny. It was the first time the Biscuits picked us to win this whole season. And he got fired last year for picking the Saints. So luckily he walked to the Falcons helmet and sniffed it this year. So we're good.
There we go.
Yeah, appreciate you, Devons. All right, man. So we'll catch y'all after the game. Let's get that win. Let's get to 2-0 in the division and steam on toward the Panthers, man. We appreciate y'all. Catch you next week. Peace.